hello again, my wonderful seekers and finders. Welcome to the Way of Truth number 63. So, if you're new here, my name is Artem Boytsev. I'm a non duality teacher and I live in San Francisco Bay Area. I teach the path to liberation through a combination of meditation, compassionate presence, direct transmission, and inquisitive dialogue. I host meditation and integration retreats. I also see students at my home, so you're welcome to visit me. And I also provide support guidance and advice over text, over WhatsApp, exchanging text messages and video messages. So I run a Discord community, which everyone is welcome to join. So I will post the link to it later. And these are bi-weekly meetings, bi-weekly satsangs. They are broadcasted live on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, which everybody can join. So I answer questions from my students. We share experiences, we share spiritual experiences, and just, experiences. And I provide guidance and advice. So this is also the website where you can read a rather large collection of my writings on the topic of awakening and spiritual enlightenment. So if you have recently awakened or if you want to awaken, by all means, please go and read if you wish. The content is free. And so I guess that's it. So by far the best way to participate in this meetings is to join them live. So I will post a link right now. So if you wish to participate live, then I just posted it as a comment into YouTube chat. So you just go into this link. It's a browser-based software. All you need is a browser and a webcam, and we can speak. And I highly encourage this way because the more direct communication, the better. But if for whatever reason you don't want to do that, then you can post your questions into YouTube chat, and I'll be able to bring them on screen just like that, and address them. But if you wish to have a conversation, just follow this link. I will also hold on just a second. Yeah. So this is the QR code that directs you to the same link. All right. Okay, and we have our first guest. Her name is Olga. Hi, Olga. How are you?
Last time we spoke in September, and I was after my retreat, which was very hard.
I remember it very well.
And I came here to tell you that after over a month, I feel better.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Okay.
Oh, that's much better. I don't know what you did, but that's better.
I think that my phone just decided to be connected to the computer. But okay, if it's better, then fine.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So I came here to tell you that I'm better, whatever that means. But something changed, and I have observed that I have no longer have intention to speak about meditation, and I actually stopped practicing formally, like doing sittings, but I became more aware every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it all the time.
That's wonderful. That's good.
Yeah, but like the subject of meditation was gone for a month at least, and now I realize that it happened, and it's interesting how this dynamic switched. Like before, I was able to speak about meditation, even No, maybe not encourage people to do it, because I know how painful it might be. So I no longer encourage people to meditate. But now I feel like this subject vanished,
Mhm.
and it's weird, but I feel okay. Yeah, it's like the formal practice is gone for a while. It's not like I'm not going to sit anymore. Well, maybe even this evening, but yeah, something switched, and I became more aware every day.
That's very good. That's wonderful. So what would you, if you wish, I mean, you don't have to, but if you wish, you can share some of the things that you have become aware of.
This feeling, whatever happens, like on a daily basis, I instantly know about it. Like I'm inside my body. This is what I'm aware of. So, like, I cannot even unglue from this, catching those sensations somewhere here in my chest mostly. And it can be fear, it can be excitement. For a month over, I had this constant dissatisfaction and pain
Mhm.
that I was aware of. It's still there, but on the top of this subtle other sensations appear and gone, and it's basically all the emotions and the micro reactions to what people say to me, and I catch myself on every reaction
Mhm.
to whatever comes. Like if it's frustration because of someone said something, I instantly know about it. I don't even need to talk about it anymore. It's like I catch all of those things that happened.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's really good. Yeah. Have you noticed that they're all impermanent?
Yes. And it's like I don't even need to analyze them, like spend time on them thinking that about the patterns or give them a meaning. Anything like this is just coming and going.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming and going. Yeah. You just need to feel them. Yeah.
Yeah, but they last for just a bit,
Mhm.
and then another one comes.
Yeah.
And it's mostly here somewhere. And I have like this. I think, and I feel like I've decided to not react to them,
Mm-hmm.
just follow what comes, and I don't even store them in my memory. They just
Mm-hmm.
going through all the time.
That's great. That's
It
very good.
is.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
much more peaceful.
Oh,
I
peaceful.
mean, not completely peaceful, but it's certainly much more
It's
peaceful.
full, like full of this. I'm full of this. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not always peaceful. It's
No.
usually.
I get it. I meant in a different way. I meant that it to just be able to be with them without the need to react to
Oh
them
yeah.
is much
That's
more
it.
peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I mean,
And I see.
peace comes in little steps. That's one of the most important steps, actually.
And I also see this in people. Like I know that I see it in myself. The reaction is first in myself, and I just understand it as human, like my relatives' patterns. I see them all now, and I see how I react to them, and I don't have a need to change anyone and
That,
anything.
right. Yeah.
But I don't feel a need to meditate as well, and that's
Yes.
something that silently bothers me. The,
Uh, okay. Okay. I see.
It's like I don't know if I should. Probably I should do nothing and just be and don't care about it. But
my advice would be to trust your intuition. You see, because here are a couple of things that are both true at the same time. The enlightened state of mind is the natural state, right? It's the natural state, and as such, it's a completely effortless state. So there's just kind of depth to effortlessness, right? But you have already discovered some part of it, which is the attention, the expression, the feeling of everything that is going on inside of you. You had to meditate before, and now it has become an effortless part of your life. You cannot get away from it. It just happens automatically. The attention automatically goes into the sensation effortlessly without any direction. So something similar can be said about meditation. Like, strictly speaking, you don't need to meditate in order to sustain a natural state of consciousness. And this is true. On the same time, what remains true even after this shift is that meditation still has the capacity to kind of speed up and intensify this process. Because what's going on right now is you have become aware of all of these little painful reactions, the painful sensations, uncomfortable sensations, and the automatic reactions that you used to engage in, and you don't need to anymore. So you can be with these sensations. They can tell you something important, and you don't need to do to engage in behavior that is actually destructive or counterproductive or makes your life worse. So that's already is a certain amount of freedom. As the freedom deepens, you will get shown more and more of those inner pains and avoidances that used to dictate your life, right? So meditation, from this perspective, can be an important continued practice, but because it's a journey of freedom, it's also very easy to say to ourselves, okay, but now we must meditate. We must meditate. We must continue to meditate. So if your intuition is, I don't want to meditate right now. I just want to kind of familiarize myself in this new space. I want to exercise. I want to enjoy this degree of freedom that has been revealed, then you should do exactly that. So you will most likely come back to meditation sometime in the future. But if for right now you are actively engaged in this process unfolding in your life off the cushion, then that's exactly what you should do.
yeah,
So don't trust the mind saying what you should or shouldn't do too much. Because the mind has this tendency to create obligations, and there is no obligations. There are no obligations in freedom. So the obligation to meditate can also be a kind of a stumbling block for many people. I think that most likely you will come back to it, but do it on your own accord, because there's still it continues to deliver value. It continues to deliver deeper insights. It continues to deliver deeper freedom. But every level of freedom that we discover, we must learn to enjoy it and integrate it before we discover greater freedom. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. And it's exactly how I feel it, actually, because before last, I don't know, few years, while I'm meditating, I used to push myself a lot, and I was reaching towards something. But now the more I stop reaching toward something, it just relaxes, and then I just leave, and after a month I realize, oh, I haven't been sitting for a month. It's like surprise, and then I start having doubts, but at the same time this process is still going, but like it didn't stop. It's still going, but it has its own pace.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, and it's totally fine if you haven't meditated for a month. Yeah, and I'm also very happy that you mentioned relaxation. Yeah, because it's the journey from continuously pushing ourselves to earn something.
Especially at the beginning, it was like this, but now it took me a few years to decrease the intensity of reaching and wanting and expecting. And I still expect a lot, but I think I faster catch myself on that, and I relax this, I don't know what, this
Yeah.
something that,
Yeah. It is a journey of relaxation. It's very true. We just relax deeper and deeper into this. We relax into our own experience. We relax into ourselves. Yeah, and we learn to let go of the expectations from life. So life never fulfills our expectations.
good. Thank you.
Yeah. So no, thank you. It's wonderful. it's good to it's good to see that you're. Remember, you told me a month ago that you think that you will never recover from this.
Oh, it was super dark.
I, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really it lasts for like few weeks, or even this month, last month. It was so hard. I was like, this still comes to a judgment that I'm judging myself, that I was this, lying in a bed watching movies. I used to be this very active, ambitious, blah blah blah, and I found myself for a month lying and doing nothing, just to don't think and do whatever I want. And yeah, it was interesting but painful. So, but the pain remains. It just, I feel different about it.
That's good. That's good. And notice also that the mind likes to judge us even for things that we need. I mean, at the time you really needed it, right? It's not like it's not laziness or something like this. It's the rest that you needed. You see,
Yeah,
but there's still judgment. There's still like, oh, we should be active. We should be productive. You see, so
yeah, but now it's better. Like it also slowly disappears because I had many side projects in my life, or maybe not side projects, just general projects I was doing simultaneously. And 2 weeks ago, I decided to close them all, or at least don't take a new responsibilities, to just free myself a little bit, and it's helping.
you can, yeah. I mean, that's great. You can always take more time to yourself. It's okay to take time to ourselves. We're not taught this way, unfortunately. You know,
Mhm.
but it's totally okay. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to take time. It's okay to have some rest. When you need time to process, it's completely okay. It's only human.
Mhm.
I'm very happy to see you again.
Happy to see you. Thank you for the
Yeah, of course.
conversation.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that was Olga, and we have another guest. His name is Ray. Hi, Ray.
Hey Artem.
Hey.
So I guess I kind of figured out that where I am on the path, and I think I'm in like the ego development phase. I guess because I had so much trauma growing up, I don't have I don't have a strong ego, and so what's attracting me right now are people like David Goggins, Joe Rogan, um, people like that who are really big on discipline.
Mm.
And I'm also really facing my desires right now. And I guess I just kind of wanted to hear from you what you think, your thoughts on like the relationship between desires and discipline. Um, Better perspective on discipline than you know. I hear perspectives on discipline, but I know it doesn't fully resonate with me.
Let's see. It's difficult to have a conversation about discipline because in our minds, we confuse and conflate all the time the external discipline, which is essentially training, with something that can be called self-discipline, which actually isn't discipline at all, but we can describe it as delayed gratification, or basically just knowing that not everything that feels good in the moment immediately is something that is good for you long term, and not everything that feels bad in the moment immediately is bad for you long term. You see.
Yeah.
So it is very rarely that a person who had a traumatic childhood has been given insufficient discipline. It's usually the opposite. So people who've been given insufficient discipline usually grow up kind of entitled rather than traumatized, overbearing rather than withdrawing, you know. So I think that your attraction to discipline and to those figures stems from this conflation. So it, I think that on some level you intuit that a lot of the things you do, if even if maybe they feel good in the short term, aren't good for you in the long term. And there are many things that you could be doing which might be difficult to start doing, or difficult to sustain, but that are good for you in the long term, and you want somebody to confirm it for you, right? But so it's not like there is completely no truth in somebody who um, play tribute, so to speak, or emphasize discipline. The problem with this kind of general approach and with this general advice about discipline is that if it's coming from the other, if it's not coming from yourself, if it's not coming from your own understanding about what you need, or how you should change your life, of where you are succumbing to fleeting temptations at the expense of your future, if it's not coming from you, then it necessarily is coming from kind of this idea, oh, look at this person. He is speaking about discipline, and he seems so well together, and he seems, you know, successful, or he seems popular, and I want to be like this, and I will just make me do things, you know, without discernment, without actually looking inwards. You see the emulating tendency, the emulating impulse of the ego. That's the danger when we speak about discipline. That's why you were probably referring, when you were talking about me speaking about discipline, you were probably referring me criticizing to me, like criticizing this notion of discipline in the past, because also disciplining children is also how we condition them, right? So discipline is something that is enforced on you externally, may still help you in some way. So it may still help you developing some skills, right? But it's not a replacement, it's not a substitute for your own understanding that you're doing this for yourself. That it's not for somebody else. It's not to be liked, it's not to be accepted. It's for yourself. It's because your life gets better this way. You see, and a lot of those speakers, like for example, the Jordan Peterson's internal life is actually very miserable. You see, so, and he's the one who sings virtues to discipline and virtue in a way that is kind of very forceful, in a way that is somewhat poor in understanding love and compassion. So if you take the same approach towards yourself, then you absolutely might get some skills or develop some qualities, but sooner or later you will still be forced on the spiritual path with lack of love and understanding. So my advice to you is, when it feels like intuitively you need to apply discipline towards yourself, because you know that it's going to make your life better, treat this as the impulse of also love and understanding. Treat this as something that is not externally enforced upon you, as in, if I don't do this, then I'm shameful. If I don't do this, then I'm unworthy. If I don't do this, then there's something wrong with me, right? But treat it as something that is also coming from self-love. If I do these things, will be better. I'm doing this for myself. This way, when the time to rest comes, because remember that in a lot of people, and especially if you have traumatic childhood, they get very imbalanced. So it's very easy, latches onto this new project and overdoes this at the expense of your health or your sleep or something else. So it's very natural for us to, even when we know that we're developing something good, whether qualities or skills or a work project or whatever it is, it's very easy for us to kind of lose track of the bigger picture, lose track of the balance, start overdoing this, then start shaming ourselves for being a failure at it, or burn out, or do this at the expense of our health. So this way, if you try to keep the bigger picture, this way, when it is time for you to rest, you will allow yourself rest. So if you're truly honest with yourself, you will also see when it is resting and when you are succumbing to the old patterns or old habits that are not productive.
I think most of
Go ahead.
I think most of what you've said, I've confirmed it already. And I guess my definition of discipline is delayed gratification. It's not punishment. or
Mhm.
all the whatever connotations people use. So I think I'm coming at delayed gratification from my heart, understanding that yes, there are things that I got to do now because there are things that I didn't do in the past, and it that are beneficial for me, and it hurts. It sucks, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Artem.
You're most welcome. All right. Okay, so this is okay. So this was the last guest. We don't have any more guests, but I have a question. So White Red is asking: is your vision happening like you're looking through the eyes from the brain, or directly on top of the eyeball? Mm. You know, it's kind of even difficult for me to answer this question because it's been such a long time, and it's very difficult for me to kind of say how exactly my vision is happening. So it's like on one hand there's a continuous realization, there is a continuous observation that there is no distance whatsoever between myself and any experience at all. So this includes visual experience, right? So when I'm looking at my laptop, it's like if I would try to find the distance between myself and the visual picture of my laptop, then I wouldn't be able to do that, right? So it arises at pretty much zero distance from myself. So from this perspective, I'm always looking at myself. So it is me, right? But at the same time, I understand that in the physical reality, there's some distance which I can breach with my hand. So to me, this is the natural way of perceiving things, and it's very difficult for me to compare it with anything because it is the only way for me. But as I was going through the transformation, and as the shifts kept happening, I have certainly had periods where it felt like the vision kind of changed its location, so to speak, or like I was looking the world one way, like through the eyes, and now another way, or I would not be able to remember it precisely nowadays to compare it to how you describe it. But I could certainly describe it back then somewhat similarly. Maybe not like exactly in the same words, but similarly in principle. That kind of that I used to see the world one way and experience my vision one way, and now it's another way. So if you're talking from your own experience, these changes are normal. It's completely normal. So lots of things happen to me with vision, with hearing, with all sensory experience. So if you're looking for confirmation, kind of is that okay that is going on, then I can tell you that it's okay. But the exact detail of how you describe it doesn't actually matter as much. You see, so just keep going, keep meditating, and just allow all the changes to happen. Allow all the changes to happen by themselves. Okay. All right. So this is somewhat slow today. So we had two guests. Okay. So there's another question. So I only have a couple questions. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll go to my backlog. You say, so the central experiencer literally gets destroyed. Yes. Yes. Yes, the central experiencer literally gets destroyed because there is no sense. There is no central experiencer. You see, everything you are is experience. I mean, you could also say that you're the witness behind this experience, right? But if we're talking about the life itself, the perception of life, everything you are is the perception of life, right? Everything you can possibly experience is yourself, right? So you touch something, you experience the sense of touch, you experience your nervous system. You look at something, you experience your vision. You hear something, you experience your hearing. You experience the sounds. So there is no boundary to this experience. You can never say that, okay, this is where my experience stops, and there's some line, somewhere around you, like there's a little bubble, right? So you can never say this is where my experience stops and this is where something else begins, because you can only experience anything through your senses. You can only experience everything that's in your consciousness is your senses, basically. And so there is no border to them, right? It's a infinite field of experience. There cannot be any central part of it which is separate from it. You see, you can say there's a fundamental part of it, which is consciousness itself, but it cannot have any center because it is infinite. It has no attributes whatsoever. It allows anything in it to arise. It allows anything in it to fall. It is the foundation, it's the ground of this infinite field of experience. So the center in any kind of localization of the experiencer is always an illusion. There is no locality of the experience. You see, you can actually even verify it with sounds. You see, you can censor the location of the sound. Because we have two ears, we can we get a sense of where the sound is coming from. But the sound itself kind of seemingly arises right here. So the sound and the feeling of its location arise in the same place in consciousness. You see. So the illusion of the central experiencer comes from the attention being fixated on thought in the separated state. So we are accustomed to giving a disproportionate amount of our attention to a very small part of our overall experience, which is thought. So we retreat into the mind in order to escape from the pains in our hearts, in order to try to fix it logically, in order to keep trying to substantiate the beliefs that we have, the inaccurate worldview that we have, and we give it an extraordinary amount of attention in the dream state. So of course, we kind of, if you've been giving the attention to a very small part of your experience for decades, and especially if there's also an ulterior motive and a hidden agenda with regards to why it has to receive so much attention, then it grows very complicated, right? Of course it acquires some location. Okay, there's a voice in my head. This is where I am. I kind of literally live in my head and control everything from out there. it becomes a very elaborate illusion. But it's an illusion nonetheless. Try to find any distance between your thought and consciousness, between your thought and the observer, between your thought and the witness. Try to find any distance between any sensation whatsoever and the witness of the sensation, the observer. You wouldn't be able to do that. You see? Okay, so you continue, but you don't know whether it's just you or is all life. Well, I don't know it only in the sense, only in the solipsistic sense, right? So if we are to say, if you were to say, you can't know with certainty anybody else's experience, then I would say, yes, of course it's true, right? So if we take this kind of solipsistic perspective that I only know my own experience and I know absolutely nothing about the experience of any other people, then you can say that I don't know it. I mean, from that perspective, we could also say that I don't know anything, right? So all I know is the present experience. But it's a rather limiting perspective, because first of all, I kind of know it from my own experience, right? I spend a lot of time with the dreaming mind, then I spend a lot of time in the realized state, so I can compare the differences. I can logically conclude that the majority of humans would go through something similar in the spiritual path and suffer from the same illusion based on the things they say, which I used to say, based on the things, based on their behavior. So, and I used to behave in similar ways, and also based on the experience of many seekers and finders on the path, my students. So I can, like, to the extent that I can logically conclude something based on my own experience and my observation of the world, I can tell you that I know it for sure. So from that perspective, I can tell you, like, I would be willing to bet pretty much any money that this is how all life experiences itself. Like, there's consciousness and the experiences arising in consciousness without any sense of separation between the two. So that this sense of separation between the two is constructed, it's conditioned. It's a result of conditioning. It's a result of training to be something that we're not, right? It's a result of expectations on our behavior, which we then justify, and when we get lost in it. So to the extent that it can be known, I know it. But if you want to take a very kind of philosophical, pure stance, which is also very impractical, then I mean, from that perspective, I don't know anything. Yes, but it also it's of zero practical value. It's basically a philosophical statement. Okay. You say creepy. Yeah, it can be. Okay, so all right, so I have some more questions. So we have more guests. People are late to the party as usual, and so I have Joel, who's laughing, and all right. So before I do this, I will take a small pause than usual, and I'll ask you to do a couple of things. So first of all, I would like to ask you that if you're new here, please subscribe, like this video, share this video. You can also subscribe to me on other channels. There's TikTok, there's Instagram. We have stopped posting on Facebook because Facebook algorithms, we have like 3,000 subscribers of Facebook. There were no bots. We never paid for it. We never did any advertisement, and still nowadays everything that we post has pretty much zero reach. So Facebook really changed something. So we're not posting on Facebook anymore. But there's still Instagram, TikTok, my Discord community, which I will send a link to. If you wish to join our community, please do that. Here's a link to it. So we're planning to have another retreat in Costa Rica, and I would also like to remind you that you can schedule one-on-one meetings with me, so we can do guided meditation or radical inquiry. We can do some exploration of your psyche. I can answer your questions about the spiritual path or meditation in general. I can also give you some advice on responsible use of psychedelic medicine. So please schedule one-on-one sessions with me. And then finally, if you are able to, please support our work. So I'm always asking, we need support so that I can spend more time teaching. So if you can, it doesn't have to be much. It can be as little as $10 a month. But if you could support us on Patreon or with monthly PayPal donations, I would be very, very grateful. I'm very grateful to people who are already doing this. So after my last Satsangs, we got a couple of new supporters on Patreon. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. So we need to grow that as well. All right, so coming back to the guests and the questions. So let's start with Joel. So we have some more questions, but we'll start with Joel because he's live. Hey, Joel.
Oh, hi, Artem.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to ask about memory loss on the path.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm forgetting a lot now.
Yeah.
I'm just whenever I'm at work, it'll be very simple things, or I'll lose track of time, or I just won't pick up on things as quick as I used to, and I'm wondering if you had that experience as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question, and it will probably be relevant to a lot of people who are awakening. I have had this experience for sure. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like I just forgot everything at all, and it's been quite thoroughly documented. I mean, there's in the Jeff Martin's book, Seekers and Finders, from which I have shamelessly stolen my hello, my wonderful seekers and finders. No shame. I just love this. I mean, seekers and finders. It's great. It's wonderful, and I work with a lot of finders, so I cannot just say hello, my beautiful seekers. So you're a finder yourself, regardless of how integrated it is or how much more equanimity is still possible that you have seen. So in his book, he actually documents it's a pretty extensive body of work. So they interviewed many people in various stages of spiritual awakening, and the feeling of losing memory, becoming forgetful, needing to write post-it notes and things like that is very common. So it has two important causes, which I will mention now. The first one is less fundamental and more temporary. The second one is more fundamental. So the less fundamental one is that as we undergo the awakening, and especially in the intense periods where awareness excavates our past wounds, where we face our psychology face our fears, face our broken heart in the way that we have not before. There's a lot of demand on your attention. I mean, attention is a limited resource, right? It's not possible to be attentive, observant, and curious about the outside world, where when the attention is needed, your observation is needed, your curiosity is needed on the inside. So there's this slight conflict between, or sometimes a serious conflict between where your attention needs to go right now, inwards, and where kind of your life circumstance might expect it to go. So people become very forgetful just because of this. It's because many things, I would even say, at a certain stage of the path, pretty much everything pales in comparison with the significance, compared to the significance of what you're going through. This is also why people experience the pull to meditate. The pull to meditate is the pull inwards. So after the awakening, there's a very deep pull inwards, into your psyche, into your suffering, deeper and deeper. And so it's completely normal to become forgetful when the things that you are mostly interested in right now and is your inner world, is what's going on inside of you, right? It's completely normal to become forgetful about some things, about some obligations. It needs a lot of time, it needs a lot of attention. So that's temporary, and it's proportional to the intensity of what's going on. Now, another thing, I will actually mention three things. And another thing about weirdness with memory is that you can say that our beliefs are also somewhat memory-based. It's an accurate memory, right? It's a memory that is no longer accurate, but it's still based on what has happened to us, right? So if we believe ourselves to be a certain way, if we believe that we are unlovable, if we believe that we should, in this situation, in a similar situation, that we should always believe a certain way, behave a certain way, it is memory also, in a sense, right? It is memory based on the emotional reactions, the memory of the past emotions, the avoidance of some emotional reactions, the ideas that we have, the kind of the self-concept that we have. We can call it emotional memory because it has more to do with how you begin to view yourself and other people and what emotions you avoid or cling to, rather than with the facts. It actually can even hide the facts of what happened. So we can call it an emotional memory, but it's a memory nonetheless, right? So we could say that the process of enlightenment is the process of forgetting of who you pretended to be, right? We could say it's a process of forgetting your conditioning. We can say it's a process of forgetting your wounds and your traumas, experiencing them, looking at them, understanding them, experiencing all the emotional pain and suffering that was associated with them, realizing how they were sabotaging our lives, realizing that they never bounded you. True. But also on the emotional level, kind of forgetting it. Okay, so Joel lost the connection, but I will continue. that's why sometimes there is an illusion, right? Only the ego is going away. Only this part of memory, so to speak, is going away. But oftentimes there is an illusion that all memory is going away, and there is a fear of, like, ending up in some kind of completely like blank state, like a baby, literally, not just like emotionally like a baby, but not knowing how to talk, not knowing how to walk. That's actually an illusion. You don't forget actual real knowledge in this process. You only forget the inaccurate beliefs that pretended to be knowledge, that pretended to be true, but in reality they were just formed to help you cope with something, or to help you to adapt to a dysfunctional situation. So it's easy to confuse the two. Now to the third point that I would like to mention, and this is somewhat more fundamental. This is the one that doesn't go away, basically. The social world, the world that we build, is focused most of all on performance. It's focused most of all on your contribution, basically. It's a world created for workers, right? So that's why we have drugs like alcohol and coffee, which are readily available because they help you with this mission, to be productive and to put your energy oftentimes for someone else. So you can, drink a cup of coffee in the morning, and then when you're very tired and exhausted from work, you can come back home and have a beer. And so those drugs kind of help you cope and survive in this world. And psychedelics are illegal. So in this world, we are trained to remember a lot of things that actually are not as important as we think. Right. So it's a complex world. It's a complicated world. A lot of us have complex jobs, complex schedules, and our minds are trained to give it a tremendous amount of significance. Right. So where you should be, all your schedules, how much something costs, all the information about what's going on in the economy, around you, everywhere in the whole world, politically. Kind of, we have this illusion also that the more you know, the better. The more you know, the more you will be able to protect yourself in this world. And we also tend to significantly underestimate, most people, not all people, of course, but most people significantly underestimate the importance of things that really matter. And by that, I mean your happiness and your relationship with other people. So in my experience, as this transformation was going on, I can't even tell you that my memory has become worse. When I used to tell those things, this was actually an illusion. What I later discovered is that my memory is not worse. I just remember things that matter, and I don't remember things they don't. Like, it's very difficult for me to remember a telephone number. I don't remember what I did like last week. Well, I mean, I could remember what I did last week, but it's with much more effort, right? I don't remember the insignificant things, but I remember much better what my student told me, for example, if it was important to them. I remember the small things that my wife tells me about her own experience. I remember better what I liked or what I didn't like. So I still don't remember names very well. I never worked good with them, but I have a great memory for faces nowadays, much more than before. So the things that actually matter in your life, that matter to your heart, that matter to your values, they become much easier to remember. And the things that matter to your productivity become harder to remember. So there is also, okay, so you came back. So there's also this effect.
Sorry, my phone started overheating and then it closed StreamYard.
Yeah, that's all right.
And I think
Yeah, I kept talking, so maybe you can watch it in recording.
I think it's gonna overheat again. And
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's a good question, and I tried to cover it kind of well. But you can watch it in the recording. Thank you for the question. It's a very good question.
It looks like, I don't know. It looked kind of
Well,
funny.
if you don't forget, I mean, you'll probably forget to watch it in the recording.
No, I'll watch it. I won't forget.
I know. You complain about bad memories, so you'll probably forget. So if you don't forget, then your memory is not that bad.
Yeah. Thank you, Artem.
You're welcome. All right, thank you, Joel, for your question. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. Baba Stein is asking, what is the wisest way to relate to the experience of nervousness, anxiety in anticipation of an event in the future? That's a good question. So the most productive way to relate to the feelings of nervousness and anxiety in anticipation of an event in the future is to realize that it's happening now. The future hasn't happened yet. You don't know how it's going to feel, actually. I can almost guarantee you that it's not going to feel the way that you think it will feel. It's actually very difficult to predict experience. It's almost impossible. So most likely it's not going to feel the way that you think it will feel. But what you do know for sure is that right now you experience nervousness and anxiety. So the mind pictures a future which is bad. And at that moment, at this moment right now, you believe it. You feel as if it's happening, So that's a great opportunity to explore how your body reacts to anxiousness, nervousness, or anxiety. So meditate, close your eyes, and take attention deep into your body. So whatever you think about something, let the mind think. So don't try to stop the mind, but whatever the mind pictures something, how horrible it will be. Like he will say something, I will feel humiliated, or like whatever it is. Notice the sensations that are coming up in your body. These are just sensations. Basically, these are sensations which you find, for one reason or another, you find very unpleasant, you find very scary. So give the sensation your direct attention. The more you do it, the quicker you will see that this is just a sensation that comes and goes. It's not even very informative. It presents, it doesn't actually tell you whether what you're afraid of will happen or will not happen. You see? So explore the sensations in a very direct way by giving it your direct attention. Just basically look at how anxiety or nervousness manifests in your body. Like if your body's shaking a little bit, just look at it. Just allow it to shake and simply look at it. You see, the mind loves to fantasize. The mind draws the expectations from the past. You see, so if something happened to you many, many times before that felt bad, right? So the mind think, okay, this is going to be just like that, right? But that's not necessarily true. So if you give everything that arises in your consciousness, especially the unpleasant things, your attention, you will learn many interesting things about yourself. You will learn many interesting things about the assumptions that the mind makes. And you will learn many interesting things about how trying to avoid this experience, or trying to pretend that it's not happening, or trying to argue with it, only prolongs it. And the quicker you surrender to it, the quicker you allow it, the quicker you stop arguing with it, the quicker you see that it's just a bunch of sensations, that it's just an experience, that's a story and a bunch of sensations. And the truth is, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So that would be a way to approach it. So lie down, breathe, and look at what's going on. Just allow whatever it is that you're feeling. And take the curious approach. So you take the approach of curiosity. I'm interested in how it feels at this moment to be myself. I'm interested in how my body is feeling at this moment. I'm not trying to run away from it. I'm not trying to make it stop. I'm just becoming interested. Okay. So Ricardo's saying, a pleasure seeing you, Artem. Same here, my friend. I'm recovering from surgery. And thus off camera. I really hope that you're going to be okay. Rest well. Be well, my friend. But would love to hear your thoughts on balancing the burning pull towards awakening and the demands of a householder, wife, baby, career. Are they mutually exclusive? Does awakening need to be priority one above all else? That's a good question. It depends on the individual. I wouldn't be able to tell you if that is something that you would need to kind of go about this way, or try to wake up while being while still living the life you do. It's certainly not impossible. You see, there's always a fundamental conflict between paying attention to the external and paying attention to the internal. There's always a conflict. So, because you see, I mean, paying attention to the external is actually what living is. I mean, I pay most of my attention is on the external, right? So because there's very little on the internal that I need to pay attention to. So that's a normal life. Unfortunately, precisely because it is the normal life, and also because we get so many messages that happiness lies in the external, we start to routinely ignore the internal. And we start getting lost. We start getting lost in the external. We keep thinking that only paying attention to the external is going to get us what we want, which is kind of true if you're not suffering, right? So if you're not suffering, then only the paying attention to the external can get you what you want, right? So if you want an apple, you will have to learn how to climb a tree and get an apple. This is all attention to the external. But it's completely untrue and dangerously untrue if you are suffering. So if you are suffering, the intention will need to go to the internal sooner or later. And as I said previously, attention is a limited resource, so there will be periods of time when you will find it very difficult to pay attention to the external. Does it mean that you cannot wake up while leading a life? No, it doesn't mean this. And especially since the true enlightened state, the completely enlightened state, is the state of integration, right? It's still life is still the same. I still have to do all the same things to get all the same results. Fundamentally, as a play of senses and as a play of objects, you could say life fundamentally remains the same. You know, I still have to get my food somewhere. But so I cannot say that a kind of renunciation is required. That's actually why I don't like the squirrel. I don't like teachings very much that say that renunciation is required. I understand them though, because for some people, from practical perspective, it may be required, and it certainly is required when we're talking about temporary periods, right? So for me, I had a period of my life where I could not pay too much attention on the external, where it was all about the internal. And I needed that, right? But I was also blessed. I was also in a situation where I could afford it, right? So I had some savings. I was in my house. I didn't have children, right? So I didn't have to work for a while. So I could afford putting all of my energy, of my attention, and all of my time on the excavation of long forgotten, on the healing of the long rejected. And so for me, it was kind of the case. But I have a lot of students who cannot like do nothing but that for a couple of years, like I did, right? They still all progress on the spiritual path. It's just that for them, the waves are kind of shorter, right? So they can maybe, allocate an evening to that or a weekend to that, especially when they get overwhelmed, when everything hurts, then they don't have a choice. Then life kind of forces them to, so they take a couple of days off. And sometimes they have to attend to their obligations with an aching heart. So this happens too. It's of course easier when you have an aching heart and you cry for days on end. It's of course easier not to have any obligations, but sometimes you do. So your question isn't as much about the fundamental conflict. There will always be times where you would not be able to pay too much attention to the external. Your question is more about how to structure it. Like, should I try to basically renounce the world for a while and focus only on the awakening, like for a few months, for example, for a few years? I don't know. Or can I try to kind of have a more balanced approach to spirituality? And the interesting thing is that no one can ask this question but you. I mean, it really depends on how your awakening. No one can answer this question but you. It really depends on how your awakening will unfold, and it really depends on kind of your personality. If it feels like renouncing the world for a significant amount of time and doing nothing by that is needed, and that's the only way for you, then do that, right? But also don't think that not doing that is somehow preventing you from realizing the truth of your nature, or from having a glimpse into the truth of your nature, or from productive spiritual practice. That's also not true. That's also not true. So, if you are in doubt, if you kind of don't know, if it feels kind of tempting to do that, but you're not sure, then wait. If on some level this is what is required for you, then it will become clearer and clearer and clearer. What is true, though, is that it does take time. It does take the effort of attention, and so it is some kind of investment, so to speak. So what is true is that if you don't allocate time for any serious practice and only read about it from time to time, then nothing can happen for a very long time. Right? So generally speaking, practice makes us much closer to it. So it still remains true. I mean, I'm not advocating for complete renunciation, especially if you have children. But what remains true is it will require more of you. Maybe even not now, then later. But at some point of time, it will require more of you. Can you still combine it with worldly obligations? Yes. Even though it may be difficult at times, but you can. Yeah, I'm not. Even though it kind of was my own path, where I kind of renounced everything. I was doing nothing by that for quite a significant time. I'm not a fan of making it a prescriptive way to reach spiritual awakening, or advising it to other people. I think it is a personal decision. And remember also that, the awakened state, the enlightened state, is not a state of renunciation. It's actually a state of deep engagement with the world. Right? You're only going to love your wife more. You're only going to love your children more. It's a state of very deep openness to all aspects of life. And so we're always talking about a temporary period, but kind of how intense you want it to be, right? So how intensely you want to focus on that and only on that is entirely up to you. Yeah. So that's what I would have to say about it. At a certain point, you say, does it need to be priority number one above all else? At a certain point, it always becomes priority number one above all else, because there's nothing more important than it for you. There's nothing more important in life than this, actually. But if it hasn't gotten to this point yet, that's okay too. You see, and even if it gets to that point, it does not mean that you literally will never come back, to life. Everything will be different, but still the same. So it's very difficult for me to give advice to somebody who I don't know. I mean, I know you a little bit, but not very well. It's very difficult for me to give you advice of abandoning, career, family, or children to pursue it. Even though it's temporary, but it is something that it is a decision that you will have to make for yourself. All right. Special friend is saying, what is the best way to handle the experience of someone being angry at us? Do we stay silent? Do we defend ourselves from the accusation? Very clear-cut formula. No, there is no clear-cut formula, but from the perspective of spirituality, the opportunity for practice here is noticing your own reactions, right? So if you get angry back, it's better to process this anger and stay with this anger. Or, for example, if you get fearful, right? So obviously, I'm not talking about the situations where you're physically in danger. My assumption here is that you're talking about people insulting you or accusing you of something that you didn't do. The most important thing is acceptance of your inner experience. Most often, getting angry back actually backfires. So most people, and you know it from your own experience, just it actually evident in your question that people don't like it very much when someone is angry at them. So the more you're able to observe your anger without letting it dictate your actions, the more right the actions would be according to the situation. So there's certainly no clear-cut formula, because if you try to hold yourself to this impossible standard of behavior, then you will absolutely fail, right? So you will get angry, you will respond angrily one way or the other in the spiritual path. You will make mistakes. What is important is how quickly you realize that you were moved not by reason or compassion or love or your heart, but by pain, by the pain of anger. When we're just learning to accept our anger, when we're just begin deconstructing the ego, we make this mistake all the time. So, and it can take us a very long time to actually admit to ourselves that we were wrong, that we were acting out of passion, that we're acting out of our own pain. And then the deeper we go on the spiritual path, the quicker and quicker this time becomes. And the mind is very stubborn, so you can act out of anger, but then tell yourself, not only the other person, but tell yourself that you were right, you were absolutely right, it was the right thing to do, and then later you'll kind of admit, no, actually, I was just a little pissed. So what's important is how quickly you realize what was moving you, what was driving you. And that's why I say don't get too quick to react. I mean, that's why a lot of spirituality is about feeling things without automatically reacting to them at the level of behavior. And that's why the kind of general cultural advice of if you're angry, count to 10 is actually good advice. In most situations, it only leads to escalation of violence. It only leads to, whether it's verbal, emotional, or physical violence. But sometimes, if you have gotten used to staying silent, you know, if you are used to not defending yourself, if you are used to elevating others above yourself, if you're used to taking responsibility for something that you didn't do, then standing up for yourself can be very scary and unfamiliar. And when things are scary and unfamiliar, we oftentimes can only do it rather passionately, rather emotionally. You know, the very first time. So for a lot of people who were brought up this way, the very first time that they stand up for themselves, they do it when they blow up, when they can't take it any longer. When it turns out somewhat aggressively. So you will make this mistake as well. But in any case, honoring your emotional response on the level of attention, giving full attention to the sensate experience is the most important practice. And the more you do it, the more it will become clearer for you specifically. If you are overusing anger, or you are succumbing to someone else's unjust pressure too much, and that is actually also the source of accumulation of anger and resentment. So it will become clearer and clearer. It's very difficult to give kind of abstract advice on how to behave. Okay, so Mulch Diet says, I think renunciation is helpful to reduce the probability of old habits distracting from waking, but certainly not the point. Yeah, I agree. So renunciation can be helpful because it for precisely this reason. Because it forces you to be alone with yourself. Old habits or distractions no longer work, but it has a practical aspect to it, rather than kind of you absolutely must do it, or this is the enlightened state is renounced state. That's not true. So White Red says, I will create technology to rival this absolute which upholds this material realms, just so can I show my middle finger. Okay. Okay, so Pablo, yes, we have about like 5-10 minutes. Pato, I'm sorry, not Pablo, Pato. Yes, hi.
Hey Artem, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to break the habit of not joining the stream because it makes me scared, honestly. And I have little time. I'm gonna go to eat with my mom and my sister, but it feels good to finally just come in and say hi.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a lot to say. Yeah. Well, I'll say goodbye. I'll wait for a better time. But it's great to see you.
Yeah, please come next time. Yeah, and yeah, we can discuss things. It's good to meet you, my friend. Okay. All right, so this was it for today. So yeah, thank you for everybody who came to the satsang. And once again, my writings are available on the website free of charge. Please join our community. Schedule 1-on-1 sessions with me. You can come visit me. We'll have our next retreat sometimes this winter in Costa Rica. And the best of luck to you in your meditation practice. Best of luck to you on the spiritual path. If you have any questions, just reach out to me or schedule meetings with me. Also, join our Discord community. So we have many beautiful, wonderful practitioners. Some just the beginning, some are quite mature in their awareness. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Maxime, yes, thank you, Artem. Of course, it's good to see you, Maxime. All right. I love you all very much. I wish you all happiness and bliss and beautiful, enjoyable life. Yeah. So I'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Bye. Bye, guys.